Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show, giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market, and it's presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me. Hey, today is Wednesday, January 5th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube. Hey, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show. As a matter of fact, hey, if you're watching this show, say hi to me now so I know you're watching. And you could comment live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling. You can attend a complimentary class this Thursday by going to investorschooling.com, and there you can learn about real estate investing, stock options trading, and everything that has to do with about money. You know, I was listening to a show recently, and there was somebody online actually asking about their retirement, and they said that their best retirement plan currently, believe it or not, was going to jail. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to not have your retirement plan going to jail, come see Investor Schooling, and we will teach you how to retire in style. All right, on today's show, we're going to be discussing, of course, the futures update. We're going to be discussing the new variant. Yeah, wait to hear this. We're going to be talking about Toyota. We're going to be talking about Build Back Manchin, Fauci. I can't say his name without saying Frodsky, and Omicron. We're going to be talking about BlackBerry. We're going to be talking about Bitcoin, and, of course, today's picks. All right, let's talk about the futures update. So yesterday, the Dow broke a record again, but the NASDAQ tanked. We saw some stocks, like energy stocks, pop, and then we saw some of them fizzle. Look, I'm going to get into more of this at the end of the show, but right now, the futures, the Dow is up 7, the S&P is up 2.75, and the NASDAQ is once again down 56. The Fed is also expected to release their notes on December's meeting, and the ADP is expected to release their payroll data today. Hey, I want to say hello to Joe online. I want to say hello to Tom, and of course, Linda. Hey, pretty awesome. All right, let's talk about the new variant. The new variant is here. The new variant is here. Ooh, I'm so excited. So what did I tell you guys? I told you that every time Moderna stock starts to go down below 250, there would be some news on the scamdemic, and here it is. Just when I thought it was the news about the 1 million case benchmark, it turns out it was other news. But this time, the news is a bit slower to hit the mainstream media. So this news about the new variant, by the way, it's called, are you ready for this? It's called the IHU variant. Yep, they named it IHU, which of course stands for I hate you variant. Okay, maybe it doesn't stand for that, but it's still called the IHU variant, and it was discovered in France. My guess is that the French have not seen enough media attention lately, so they needed a story. Well, I have to tell you that I needed to do a little bit of search on this story because I could not find it anywhere. I heard a rumor about it, and I was like, what is the story with this? So I'm noticing that not many are reporting it. It's not on any of the mainstream media, but I did manage to find an article released yesterday that talked about it. This article was in some online paper called The Tribune, and here's the headline. France detects new COVID-19 variant called IHU, 12 infected. Well, as I read the article, here's what I found in summary. It all started when a French citizen returned from, guess where? Of course, Africa. Where else? It seems like every variant comes from Africa. The new patient, right, the now patient with the new form of the freaking cold was in Cameroon, Africa, and of course he was, guess what? Fully vaccinated, because he couldn't go to Africa if he wasn't fully vaccinated, of course, but they did mention it in the article. By the way, did you notice that all the stories start with, they were fully vaccinated, and they had mild symptoms, at least until a few weeks ago, and then they leave it out because they don't want you to be misled by the truth that the vaccinated are getting infected just as fast as the unvaccinated. Anyway, he had cold symptoms, and his blood work was rushed to a special lab where they discovered this variant had 46 mutations and 36 deletions, resulting in 30 amino acid substitutions and 20 deletions. So let me get this straight. They randomly tested one person who happened to come back from Africa with a special test to compare his results to all the other COVID variants, spend time, spend money, and manpower just in case they might find something different in this person? I gotta tell you, I don't buy it. In fact, I'm beginning to even believe that the mainstream media isn't buying it, and that's why many aren't talking about it. I think they should just come out and say this is all a bunch of baloney. In fact, you ready? I vote that the next name of the next variant be officially called the masturbation variant. At least that name describes the truth about it. All right, let's talk about Toyota. Well, it seems that the number one selling car manufacturer in the United States is no longer General Motors. They have been dethroned by Toyota. GM has been the leader in cars, and they sold the most cars. GM has been the leader in cars, selling the most cars in the United States since 1931. That's 90 years. And now it's Toyota. Toyota sold the most cars. That means a foreign company has beat a domestic product of General Motors. Yikes! GM sold 2.2 million vehicles in the U.S. in 2021, which was down by 12.9% compared to the year earlier. Toyota, by comparison, said it sold 2.3 million vehicles, and that was up by 10% compared to 2020. The difference in sales between the two is 114,034 vehicles. Jack Hollis, Toyota North American Senior Vice President of Automobile Operations, downplayed the company's number one ranking. And he said this, he said, yes, we did surpass General Motors in sales, he told reporters during a call on Tuesday, but to be clear, that's not our goal, nor do we see it as sustainable. So how did this happen? Well, we could of course blame the supply chain shortage for the problems for starters. Apparently, Toyota was better equipped to handle the chip, the chip and supply shortages than the competition. And as we all know, and we all know who called that, Retsuko Brendan-san, as they say in Japan. Anyway, the chip and supply chain shortage is becoming less of a problem, and as the world reopens and ignores the scary Omicron variant. And when I look at Ford and GM, I see also two companies who will be well placed for the upcoming electric vehicle surge that will happen even if the BBB, the brain dead Biden bill, gets passed or not. Look, Ford jumped yesterday over 11.5%, and it's into 2023, I think it was. And GM jumped 4.5%, and it looks like car companies are benefiting from the pent-up demand. I have to tell you, I have 2 leases on cars, and they're going to be worth more than the residual value by far, so I think I'm going to have to keep them. There's not much for me to do, right? Hey, I want to say hello to Mick, and I want to say hello to Joe, and I want to say hello to Charles. Charles is cracking up. He's loving the show. All right, let's talk a little bit about Build Back Better and Build Back Manchin. Hey, in the last segment of cars, I mentioned, of course, the BBB plan. The brain-dead Biden bill, known to the Democrats as the Build Back Better plan. By the way, did the marketers for the Democrat Party really think that people would be walking around with hats that have BBB on them? Did they really think that BBB would compete with MAGA? Or that Build Back Better sounds better than Make America Great Again? In fact, if you're like me, you would agree that the best way to build back better is just leave everything alone, let Trump come back, and make America great again. But we can only hope. Anyway, once again, the only Democrat with a brain, Joe Manchin, is standing firm in his decision to vote against the BBB plans. The Democrats are releasing press articles saying that they are working with Manchin in either to change the plan or convince him to vote for it. Well, Manchin has come out and said that there have been no such negotiations or talks. There are no negotiations going on at this time, he said, adding that he feels strongly as today as he did in December about his concerns that the plan could exacerbate high inflation. So there you have it. Until Manchin accepts a bribe or is blackmailed into voting for it, the bill is dead. It's real simple. Hey, Jose, I want to thank you for watching on YouTube. We appreciate it so much. Hey, let's talk about Fauci, Frodsky, whatever you want to call him, Mangala, whatever. Anyway, he's my favorite fraud, there's no doubt. All right, this man who has been wrong so many times that in the beginning he's predicted that it almost seems like he predicted the weather last week in Philadelphia. Remember when we were told we were going to have 2 to 6 inches the other day and it didn't even rain? We should hire him as the weatherman. At least he won't do as much damage. Anyway, this fraud finally has me worried. No, not because he's continuing to predict doom and gloom, which is not happening and never has been happening. Well, actually, it is actually happening, but the only doom and gloom is coming from him and the other politicians hell-bent on ruining our lives. No, this time, Fauci is scaring me because of all the times he has been wrong. His prediction of the scary Omicron variant peaking at the end of January makes me nervous. I could easily believe this frickin' cold will peak like normal colds do at the end of January, but because Fauci has been wrong on so many other predictions, I'm worried that he might be wrong again and will have the sniffles into February and March. So get your tissues ready. I hate to quote this guy, but listen to this. It certainly peaked pretty quickly in South Africa, Fauci said. It went up almost vertically and turned around quickly. I would imagine, given the size of our country and the diversity of vaccination versus non-vaccination, that it will likely be more than a couple of weeks, probably by the end of January, I would think, Fauci said. Did he imply that there were less people vaccinated in South Africa? Did he also say that it spiked fast and came back really quickly in South Africa? Well, to avoid YouTube and Facebook removing this content, which, by the way, they've removed some of my shows, I will just say this. Less people vaccinated in South Africa. Quick spike in South Africa. More people vaccinated in America. A record 1 million cases plus cases this week. Well, we're going to take a break now as I look for my bulletproof vest to wear for the rest of the show. I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start. Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I am your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio in Philadelphia. And if you're watching online, please hit that share button so you can help your friends learn about how to make more money. Hit that like button and let me know you're enjoying the show. Hey, you can also leave comments on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and YouTube, and I'll try to respond to them live. I also noticed something interesting about the comments on Facebook. I've noticed that we have a community now. We actually have other listeners saying hello to other listeners. So hello to all you listeners, and hello to the listeners saying hello to the listeners. Saying hello to the listeners. All right. Anyway, so far we've been discussing the futures update, and the Dow is up 9. The S&P is down 2 points, and the NASDAQ is down 51. I'm going to talk about the NASDAQ when we talk about what's going on. We also talked about the new variant, and I don't buy it. I'm telling you, I think the new variant is not real. All right. We also talked about Toyota, and Toyota being the #1 car manufacturer because let's go Brennerton. All right, we talked about Build Back Manchin and how Manchin is still not supporting the bill. We talked about my favorite fraud, Dr. Fauci, and coming up, we're going to be talking about BlackBerry and Bitcoin, and of course, today's picks and plays. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to leave comments. I want to see those comments. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure to set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home, and let me know what you think of the show. All right, let's get into the second half. BlackBerry. Hey, one of the coolest devices I ever had in the late 90s was literally my BlackBerry device. This thing was able to receive and send messages that you typed on a keyboard on the device. I know what you guys are saying. I'm old. I get it. But it was better than a pager, and the primitive cell phone had no such thing as text messaging at the time. It was a rugged-looking device that I carried in a holder on my belt. Look, I thought I was pretty cool because I was one of the few executives. Actually, I wasn't really executive. I was in sales position in a computer consulting company with the title of Vice President. But it made me look cool, and when I took it out, I typed a message to somebody. It was really, really cool. Well, as you know, text messaging on your phone came along, and many people no longer needed the BlackBerry device, right? Then, of course, came smartphones, and the technology far surpassed the BlackBerry technology. The interesting part was many held on to their BlackBerry devices, and most of the newer ones even incorporated a phone into them, and some of these people refused to upgrade to a current smartphone. They just wanted to hold on to the technology. Maybe they thought it was cool. Maybe they didn't want to learn new technology. Who knows? Well, BlackBerry had a deal with Google Android to keep them going, but that all ended yesterday. It was part of BlackBerry's shift from making phones to selling security software to corporations and governments. So basically, BlackBerry has nothing to do with phones anymore, nothing to do with pagers anymore. Now they're doing security software, which I'm going to tell you was probably a really good move for them because they were going to die if they didn't. The company said it could have cut servers sooner, but they basically wanted to give 16-month notice to the users as an expression of thanks for the loyal users. That's kind of neat that they did that. It's kind of neat that they were loyal users. I don't know. It's kind of a little bit of nostalgia, but whatever. The service was actually cut off yesterday, and hopefully most of these people had migrated to other services and maybe even picked up one of them, newfangled smartphones. Hey, by the way, did anybody out there ever have a BlackBerry? Let me know in the comments section on Facebook or YouTube if you ever had a BlackBerry. I just thought they were the coolest things when they came out. Let me know what you think. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. This is interesting. So it appears Bitcoin has been in a holding pattern, as I've mentioned on several episodes of the show. I've often said that investors use the press to manipulate stocks, EFTs, and other assets, and especially assets like, of course, crypto. We've seen Elon Musk tweet about something that has to do with crypto, and poof, the asset he spoke about zooms up. We've seen it with Shiba. We've seen it with Ethereum. We've seen it with Bitcoin. He makes a tweet, and boom, it goes up. We've also had the negative comments he makes, and sure enough, it comes down, and it comes crashing down, right? Well, Elon isn't saying much about crypto lately, and I'm noticing more and more articles and interviews on the financial channels. So there's a lot more articles on the financial channels about crypto. Yesterday, I actually saw an article entitled, "Founder of Crypto Lending Platform Argues That Bitcoin Could Hit 100,000 by mid-2020." Huh. Do you think that's a manipulative headline? Well, yeah. Well, I dove into the article, and this is what Antony Trenchev said of the crypto. This is basically the cryptocurrency lender named Nexo. He's in charge of it, and he said, "I think Bitcoin is going to reach 100,000 this year, probably by the middle of it." Now, the company has issued more than $6 billion in credit and manages assets for over 2.5 million users globally. So do you think he might have something to gain if it hits 100,000? Of course he does. But think about this. If he's lending on the asset and the asset crashes in value, he is in big trouble. It would be similar to the bank in 2008 holding a property that they lent $300,000 on that's now worth $100,000. That's what he may go through. Of course, Bitcoin has largely been a winner in the pandemic area, rising more than 60% in 2021, despite being far off its record high of around 69,000 earlier that year. In comparison, the S&P 500 rose nearly 27%, and the Dow and NASDAQ gained 17.3% and 21.39%, respectively, for the year. There are others who believe this asset is going to tank, and some say as low as 10,000. All right, I know. You want my prediction, don't you? Well, here it is. Listen carefully. Here comes my prediction for Bitcoin. You guys ready? You guys ready for it? How the hell should I know?
You thought about investing in real estate.
You went to a commercial. Oh, man.
Properties, but don't really
know
where to start.
You gotta stop that commercial so I can finish
this. What if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses? Okay, so you've thought about investing in real estate, houses, apartment buildings, properties, but don't really know where to start? Well, what if you could very easily learn how to gain strategies to use other people's money to buy and sell houses in the Philadelphia area? If you could learn and network with successful area real estate investors and how to produce monthly income on rental properties without headaches, that place is Investor Schooling. With Investor Schooling, you'll learn from two Philadelphia area rockstar real estate investors, Phil Falcone and Larry Steinhouse, about how to buy and sell properties the easy way and teach you basic and advanced techniques to help you make money in real estate. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online visual classes 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate. Call for free information and get a complimentary pass to one of these classes. But don't delay, as these complimentary passes are limited. Call the number on your screen now or visit investorschooling.com. investorschooling.com.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and of course, if you'd like more information on Investor Schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Sorry about the little technical problems we had before. I think the audio is back up. I think everything's good right now. And so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures update. We're going to get to that in a minute. The new variant, Toyota, Build Back Better, and of course, Fauci, BlackBerry, and Bitcoin. Hey, I noticed that Tommy online says that he used to have a Palm Pilot. I actually have a Palm Pilot too. I used to have something called the Apple Newton, which was kind of cool too. It was probably one of the first smart pads. It wasn't a smartphone, but it was a smart pad. It was kind of neat. So coming up, we're going to be talking about today's picks and plays. But first, of course, hit that like button, hit that share button. Let everybody know what great stock plays are coming up by sharing this information. And of course, you can share in groups, and you can also share on your own page. Hey, again, if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. All right, let's get into what's going on. So yesterday was an interesting day as the Dow broke a record, but then the NASDAQ tanked. You know, I kind of warned you guys to watch the bond market, and sure enough, it inched up over 1.6%, and there you go, the NASDAQ went down. Even now, the NASDAQ is down, and it's down 62 points. Even the Dow is down 13 points, and the S&P is down 5 points. So I'm also going to expect the bond market to continue to move up slowly as, of course, the Fed slows down in buying of bonds. So what does it all mean? It means that we're going to have a little bit of chop in the NASDAQ for a couple of days, and then the investors are basically going to accept the bond rate, the basic numbers as normal, and the NASDAQ will then recover. By the way, are you liking the picks that I've been presenting? I called it correctly on several fronts, such as travel, which still has legs, by the way. Also, oil still has legs, and of course, Apple. The only problem with Apple is I was off one day on my prediction that they would have hit a $3 trillion valuation. By the way, here's where I would move money to next. It's time for social media stocks to start moving up as we approach earnings. I like Twitter, but mostly Meta. By the way, Meta is the owner of Facebook, and the symbol is FB. And of course, they also own Oculus. I'm expecting a great earnings report on advertising revenue for Facebook, as always. But the big news is going to be how many Oculuses have been sold. By the way, is that Oculuses or Oculi? Well, either way, that's going to be the play. I think it's going to be the play. I think you guys should be in it, and I think you'll do really well with it. Twitter, Facebook, go for it. Even Snap. By the way, I saw an article on Pinterest this morning. That might be a good one, too. I'm going to look into that, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Hey, on the crypto scene, as you know, we talked about Bitcoin earlier, and it's still right around 46,500. Ether is around 3,700, and the other coins are dropping slowly. Hey, come on, Shiba Army. Let's go, Shiba Army. By the way, gold and silver are inching up, and I still recommend physically holding the precious metals. The Treasury bond, as you know, is up about 1.64%, and we already discussed that about what this is doing to the tech sector. The Fed will be announcing their minutes from the December meeting, and this is why the markets will be soft this morning. So expect the markets to be soft this morning. Right around 2 o'clock, expect a major move. It's either going to major move up or it's going to major move down. It typically, just typically, it's not a prediction, but it typically moves up after the Fed minutes for two reasons. One, sometimes the Fed minutes are good news. On the other side, it's also that, investors they panic over information and waiting for information. So once the information is released, they stop their panic and they start buying again. So watch for 2 o'clock today. Watch for it to be a major move in the market. I'm hoping it's up. Matter of fact, let's go for it to be up, and that will definitely make sense. Hey, by the way, did you order my book during the break? Come on, go order it. I promise it's going to be worth the wait. I realize you won't get it till June, but I promise it'll be worth the wait. I'm getting my copy, my original copy. I'm getting it next week. And if you're watching on any of the social media platforms, of course, please leave a comment on your thoughts about the show. Hey, if you like the show, let me know right now. And also, if you've taken any of the advice on this show, please share the show with your friends and tell them all about it. I want to thank you once again, of course, always for your continued support. I love this show. I'm having a really good time with it. So if you guys will let me know how much you like it, I will continue it. If not, I'm going to sleep in the morning. You know, you guys don't like the show, I'm going to sleep. So you guys online, make sure you tell me how much you like it. Make sure you tell me that it's worth the sacrifice for me to get here at 5:30 in the morning to do this show for you. I also want to thank, of course, all the listeners on WWDB Radio. And you guys, too. You guys could call in and let me know what you think. You could call 866-424-2829 and let me know what you think about the show. Even if you don't want to attend investor schooling, you should, though, because you'll learn a lot. And by the way, if you guys didn't know already, my name is Larry Steinhouse, and of course, I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I'm also the CEO of Investor Schooling. So you guys want to stop by, take a look, learn about investing, learn about how to make more money, and make sure that you don't end up having to have your plan as jail. Of course, as you know, from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. Once again, have a profitable day.